A lot of people have been asking me lately, what's the best way to level from 1 to 50, since I recently made a video for level 50 onwards. And in season 1, since we're all going to be starting at level 1 again, it's a great time to review a strategy. What you're going to want to do is log into your character with the most altars of Lilith and map discovery that you have on July 18th or onwards. That's going to be on the permanent realm, the eternal realm. That's going to automatically push that progress to your new season character that you're going to make. Next, you're going to want to pick a class and build. Not all classes and builds are created equal. So check out the link in the description for a tier list on best leveling builds for each class, and subscribe if you want to see build guides on each of them. There are a couple already on my channel, but more are in the works and you won't want to miss them. Now, most importantly is the route you're going to take while leveling. You just made your character your level 1. What's the route? Well, ideally, you want to start doing the dungeons that unlock your legendary aspects. They are super strong to get, as I'm sure you know, so you want to get your legendary aspects as soon as you possibly can. Using the build guide of your choice and an interactive map, figure out exactly which dungeon you need to do in order to get your aspect. But before you go in there, make sure to pick up the corresponding quest for that dungeon. That way you're getting two things done at the same time. You're getting a quest, which will reward renown, you're getting experience, and you're getting gold. You're probably going to get a cash, and you're also going to get your aspect unlocked in that Codex of Power. So this is really like getting 3 birds stoned for the price of 1. And this is where timestamps is going to come in handy. I'm going to go through dungeon by dungeon, showing you the location of where you can pick up the quest, and the dungeon is going to be the name of the timestamp. So big shout out to Reddit users Tindy and Tesdy for gathering this data I'm about to go through. Let's begin. So first up, we're going to start with Skazglen. The dungeon is called Domhain Tunnels. You can see you can get a quest called the Seer from Korbach right here. This quest giver right here. It's actually a quest chain you're going to want to do before you go into the Domhain Tunnels. It's going to be the Seer, then Smoke Signals, and then Reclamation. It's a 3-part chain that leads you to Domhain Tunnels. Next up, we're going to do the Underroot, and this is a quest that starts here, Daughter of the Oak. This starts in Saragar, and you got to actually unlock Tur Duldra Stronghold before you can actually do this. So keep that in mind if you are looking to do the Underroot. Next up, we have Sarat's Lair. This is actually going to start in the Fields of Ruin, which leads to Feral Moon in Saragar. The Saragar waypoint right here, and then you can see here the prereq for this is in Fields of Ruin, which is right here. So you go Fields of Ruin, and then you pick up this quest here, which is Feral Moon, and then you can do Sarat's Lair and get both and get that quest done. All right, next up we have the Wretched Delve. The Wretched Delve has a quest called the Diviner. You can pick this up in Tur Duldra, and keep in mind that only one of the quest objectives is in the dungeon. The other 2 are actually outside, and those are all the quests in Skazglen. Now let's move on to Fractured Peaks. We've got right here Legacies of Light Watch. It's kind of small. Try to zoom in here for you. So this quest you can pick up in Margrave, and this is for the dungeon Light's Watch. Pretty straightforward, that one. Next up, we have Hoarfrost, Demise, and Rimescar Cavern. This is a quest chain. You're going to do the Shattered Tribute, and then the next quest will be Hammer of the Champion. And you can pick these both up at the Bear Tribe Refuge, so make sure you pick these. I mean, Hoarfrost Demise is right there. I'm pretty sure just northwest of here, so absolutely pick this one up. It's very easy to get this before you go into the dungeon. Next one is the Black Asylum. The quest is called Cries of Innocence. You just walk up the road here. I'm pretty sure it's either just a thing on the ground or a dying person, something like that. The quest is called Cries of Innocence, and it's the location is Oleum Tundra right here. That's a side quest for the Black Asylum. All right, next up we have the Sanguine Chapel. This is a quest you pick up in Corvalar. Just take the Bear Tribe Refuge waypoint and then just go up here northeast. This quest is going to unlock after progressing the main story, but since we already did that, you know, skip the campaign for season 1. You can pick up this quest and then go do the Sanguine Chapel, get both them done. Nice and easy. Next up is Cultists Refuge. You're going to pick this up in Kyovashad, and the quest is called Sight to Madness, and you're going to have to unlock the Nostravus Stronghold first as a prerequisite, so keep that in mind, and then this is going to become available. Make sure you do this before you go into Cultists Refuge, right? Cultists Refuge, that's a dungeon that's unlocked once you clear Nostrava. Okay, next one is the Hallowed Ossuary. The Hallowed Ossuary, right here, you can see here the Dread Martyr, another quest just along the road in the Frigid Expanse. Next up, we have Champion's Demise. So this is Champion's Demise. The quest is called Consumed by Pride, which then leads to Raising Spears. This is, you can find this in the Untamped Scarps. the Onyx Watchtower waypoint is closest to this. You can just go straight southwestish to get to it, and then you can take that quest into Champion's Demise. Next up is the Grinning Labyrinth. You can pick this up in Girondai. The quest is called Augury of Bones, which then leads to the quest Hubris Smiles Back, and that's going to lead you into the Grinning Labyrinth. Get that quest done. All right, the next dungeon is called Whispering Vault, and the quest name is In the Name of Love. You can get this in Fate's Retreat. This unlocks, if you're doing the campaign, it's going to unlock after Act 3. The next quest is Remnants of Faith. You can pick this up in Zarban Zet. The next dungeon is Left Behind. You can pick this up in Vyrez. This is for the dungeon Shadowed Plunge. And that's all we got. Hopefully that's helpful. Other tips that you're going to want to keep in mind as you level up your character. Remember that at level 15, you're going to get a class quest that automatically populates in your quest log, whether that's your Barb technique slot, your Druid Spirit boons, your Necromancer Book of the Dead, Rogue Specialization, or Sorcerer Enchantment slots. Make sure to prioritize doing that as soon as you possibly can, because that's going to make your character so much stronger. Believe me, it's absolutely worth going out of your way and doing that as soon as it's possibly available. You're also going to want to clear strongholds as frequently as you can. It's great XP. It unlocks dungeons. Some of the dungeons we went to are locked behind those strongholds, and therefore perhaps some of the aspects you're looking for could also be locked behind them. I know as an Earth Druid, there's one in, there may be two in Skazglen that are locked behind strongholds. So it's absolutely worth going out and doing those strongholds. They're also a lot of fun. Make sure to also do events and pick up as many consumable herbs as you can. Those are going to be needed to upgrade your potions. You're going to need to salvage everything. Remember, I actually made a video about, should you salvage or should you sell? Remember, you should basically be salvaging everything when you're lower level, because you really need those materials in order to upgrade your gear, other things. And then once you get to level 50 or so, remember that it's time for you to do your capstone dungeon. It's going to unlock World Tier 3, and it's also going to give you access to Nightmare Dungeons, some of the best loot in the game, uniques. It's really where your character takes off. I have a video on, basically the transition to the Helltides, the transition to Nightmare Dungeons, and how that's going to affect your character. Tree of Whispers to get those nightmare sigils, which sigils to do, which ones to avoid. What's the perfect nightmare tier to do for your level? That's all in the video, the new fastest way to level your character. And also you might consider re-specializing your character, basically refunding your skill tree, refunding, everything, and changing your build once you're level 50, because now you have enough skill points to actually completely put together a new build. And maybe your leveling build is not the best. And I remember on my Druid, this definitely came at a time around level 50 or 60 or so when I switched from, just using my landslide build to a nice, awesome pulverized build. And boy, did that really pick up speed. And, you could even transition once you get all the pieces to another build, right? Because, the leveling builds are really focused around Codex of Power aspects, right? Things that are guaranteed. But once you get all of those Codex of Power aspects, you're going to also start finding things that aren't in the Codex of Power. And you're going to hold on to those so that you can eventually put together builds that are not leveling builds that require these legendary aspects that you find, things like Shockwave aspect for that pulverized druid. Like, you can't make that pulverized druid without Shockwave aspect, right? So you do a leveling build and then transition once you find all the right aspects. So once you get all the legendary aspects, make sure to transition to a new, better build that isn't this leveling build around, whenever you find it, honestly. But, hopefully around level 50 or so, you'll have all the pieces ready to go. And those are basically my tips. Make sure to do events, do dungeons, and then when you hit level 50, just crank out those Nightmare Dungeons exclusively after you have enough Forgotten Souls from Helltides. You definitely need to have those in order to reroll your gear, to upgrade your gear to the highest level. They don't really give that much XP, but they're really just there for the mysterious chests. I have a Helltide guide as well. It's going to give you a lot of Forgotten Souls. It's also going to give you a nice number of legendaries, but really you're doing them for the Forgotten Souls. Hope this was helpful, guys. If it was, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more Diablo 4 content. My name was Toyhouze. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.